Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching and Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channels. Of course, this is Pro Wrestling Logic for you. We've got nearly 2,000 of these available on this broadcast. We've got the Mid Atlantic Championship Wrestling Review Series. This is the 30th of January, 1982. Here, we see highlights of a Anderson's Gene and Ole squash contest here. Don't really talk about the details of the match very much, so I don't have a lot of details for you. It's highlights, mainly Ole in the ring. They do talk about the history of the tag team championships going back to 1975. Wish there was Mid Atlantic from 75. Actually, wish there was Mid Atlantic all the way back to the 50s because it'd be cool to watch things evolve forward. First full match after talking about the tag team championships with David Crockett and others at the table. Talk about Mike Miller and Jeff Swords versus the Mulligans. Mulligans, of course, Blackjack Mulligan Sr. and Jr., a.k.a. Barry Windham. They didn't really talk about teaming too much, although they are interested in teaming for the tag team tournament that's going to eventually lead to the crowning of the new tag team champions. At least that's what's appeared. We see the, you know, dominance of Blackjack Sr. early, side headlock takeovers and other basic things. Junior comes in and continues headlock takeovers. Doug Vines, who looks a lot more capable than he's allowed to show he is here. Again, they talk about in the hype for the tournament the idea of bringing multiple guys in just to see what guys can do. Takedowns and other basic things by, Blackjack Sr. hits a couple of shots along the way there, and ultimately getting what he can where he can out of things. The brawling in the other corner, jumping knees by the adversaries to the Blackjacks. Short-term stuff there, but eventually Blackjack Jr. hits the flying forearm type maneuver, and there we go. Talk in with Eddie Graham, who is the promoter of Championship Wrestling from Florida, and I guess the organizer, apparently, at least for storyline purposes. Talk with him and Gordon Soley about teams from all over the world coming together for this, talking about the idea of, teams from Florida and the AWA and the Carolinas and all sorts of teams. Eddie Graham trying to make this a big deal. The Briscoes, Jack and Jerry Briscoe, of course, Jack Briscoe, former NWA champion, talking about teaming with his brother and wanting to be at the best possible thing there. The Florida television show sent forth with the Briscoes as a team, also a pretty cool thing here, as they, kind of one of the last major things the Briscoes, I think, would do together. But Davidsons versus the Briscoes from Florida. The Davidson brothers, enhancement talents for the Florida area. Uh, you know, Jerry Briscoe kind of holding on to the arm. The Davidsons trying to make the tag. Cut off on the ring by Jerry Briscoe. Lots of, basic stuff. Jack finally comes in, gets the leg holds and modified figure fours. Lots of people would have reason to believe, especially from the Florida territory, that the Briscoes have a pretty good chance at this tag team tournament thing as a whole. Briscoes obviously getting the win via submission with a spinning toe hold. Then we see the team of Vines and Miller out there kind of talking about the tag team run that they're going to put together. Kind of a disjointed promo, I think, more so here to, do a bit of hype for things there. Not really a great promo by any stretch of the imagination, but it gets the job done in the same way, kind of giving the idea that everyone wants to be part of this tag team tournament. Speaking of that, tag team deal seems to be everybody's focus here, as Austin Idol and Ivan Koloff, who is still, I believe, the TV champion at the time, manages to formulate a team. Austin Idol and Koloff managing to do that, and it's a pretty interesting thing against Don Gilbert and Keith Larson. Idol, not really a tag team guy with his persona, but managing to find a interesting partner in Clash of Styles in Koloff. Koloff gets ground and pound on Larson early and manages to go at run with him. When Idol gets in there with Don Larson, it's more of a brawl. Idol does use headbutts and other basic maneuvers along the way to get things going. Idol spends more time in the ring than Koloff does. Koloff more of the brawler, whereas Idol kind of doing a little bit more wrestling, but a ton more walk and talk as one would expect. Suplex and spinning neckbreaker by Idol gets his team the advantage for a little while. Anyway, the drive of the knee by Koloff gets the team the victory overall. The Blackjacks promise that they want the tag team championships in a promo, as do the returning tandem of Jay Youngblood and Ricky Steamboat. Steamboat also talking about wanting to get at it with Ric Flair in the next few weeks here. Steve Siebert, a relative newcomer, is teamed up with Nelson, and that's kind of an interesting run there. This particular match is the tandem of Nelson and Siebert versus Weaver and Kernodle. Weaver doesn't come back very often at this point in this particular juncture, but it's here, and certainly the punch kick of the basics of it all. Johnny Weaver comes back and kind of gets rolled through by the enhancement talent. Siebert, a bigger guy by the nature, and Kernodle, who seems to be a major force in the Carolinas, hits a bunch of forearms along the way, and the attempted Irish whip gets him where he wants to go. The attempted sleeper and all of that comes together, and ultimately we see the team of Kernodle and everybody winning. Then we see a Jesse Ventura and Adrian Adonis clipped squash match here, I believe from another territory, really trying to hype up the idea that the tag team deal is super valuable. Adonis and Ventura are in the AWA at the time, and you can see them kind of going at it with their opponents here. Ventura having purple hair and Adonis getting some ride time on his adversary. Worth going out of your way to see just this if you've never seen Jesse Ventura in this light before. Some enhancement guys get some time as far as promos to kind of put over their opportunity. It's just interesting that the whole concept of this entire run is that we get to one final tag match clipped off here, and that is the Bill White and Doug Vines versus Steamboat and Youngblood. Steamboat and Youngblood probably one of the expected teams to do very well in the tournament. We kind of roll forward here with Steamboat and Youngblood cutting the ring off, getting some chops, getting some basic stuff. Steamboat obviously getting ready for Ric Flair, wanting that opportunity. Also, post-match, Slaughter says that he wants to be treated with more respect as the U.S. champion. Piper says he has a partner, but he's only going to reveal that partner when absolutely necessary. And the nature of the disrespect of Ivan Koloff is annoying to Koloff. He's ready, and Piper is not willing to back down from him. Austin Idol says he and Koloff are ready for the tag team tournament and the tag team championships. Just would be really interesting. A lot of short promos. Guys are super into them, but they don't have to say a whole bunch because you're talking about a 2 to 3 minute promo for most guys. In any event, we'll be back with more right after this.